Hi, my name is Spencer Stevens, and today I'll be introducing for my group how AJ Hinch failed as a leader. AJ Hinch is the coach, or was the coach, of the Houston Astros in the 2017-2018 MLB season. The MLB is the baseball league that we have here in America. They cheated and they won the World Series that year, and they were only found out to be cheating after the fact. Instead of explaining to you how they cheated, I'd rather just show you. Here's an excerpt from a pitcher on another team. There was a banging from the dugout, almost like the bat hitting the bat rack, every time a changeup signal was put down. A changeup in baseball is a type of pitch. It could be a fastball, a changeup, a curveball, among other pitches. But when you're the batter and you know what pitch is coming, it gives you a significant advantage against the other team. Let's watch here. Bang. So now he knows a changeup's coming, and there's a changeup. No bang. So his teammates are in the dugout giving him the bang when they see the sign that the catcher is putting up down there. Bang, bang. And now he knows what pitch is coming. This advantage is completely unfair, and it wasn't recognized until after the fact. Let's go into the details of AJ Hinch and how much experience he has in the game of baseball and has never shown an ounce of wanting to cheat during this time. He was the former manager of the Houston Astros, and he had 10 plus years of experience before coaching there. He was also a former professional baseball player, where he played 16 years in the league. Hinch also has a degree of psychology from Stanford University. So this shows that he's not a stupid man, and he has been in the game long enough to know he should not do it. But he and his team did it anyways.
Hi, my name is Taylor Griffiths, and I will be explaining how the leadership style that AJ Hinch chose to use would eventually fail. The investigations would conclude that Hinch himself did not take part in the cheating, nor did he condone it. He said in an interview with the MLB Network that he didn't like that it was going on, and on numerous occasions had destroyed monitors with baseball bats. In the same interview, however, he admits that his main failure was not calling a meeting and stopping it altogether. Instead, he knew it was happening, and as a leader did not stop it before it became a bigger problem. In a quote, he says, "While the evidence consistently showed I didn't endorse or participate, I failed to stop them, and for that I am deeply sorry." We feel that Hinch's use of a laissez-faire style of leadership has caused him to be accused of leadership avoidance. This shows a real lack of authority within their organization, but at the end of the day, he is responsible for that group's actions and decisions. A quote from Jeremy Caulfield says that our biggest problems arise from the avoidance of smaller ones. As a leader, he is responsible for the actions of that team, and since he knew it was going on, regardless of if he condoned it or not, it leads one to wonder, why didn't he stop it? Was it because it was giving his team an advantage, or was it a simple lack of authority? This ignorance is bliss type of leadership avoidance would eventually lead to a World Series win, but that would come attached with a tarnished reputation, compromised integrity, and getting fired from your job. So I will now pass it off to Jenny to talk about how this failure happened.
Hello, my name is Ginny Lee, and I'll be explaining why this leadership style failed. Through investigating AJ Hinch's leadership style, we can see that it failed tremendously. His leadership style was laissez-faire, and according to Asruluhak and Kuchinki, this leadership style is described as, quote, "Leader with this style of leadership avoids making decisions. They are usually reluctant to take actions and avoid situations in which there are chances to encounter problems. Leaders who adopt a laissez-faire leadership style do not provide feedback to their followers," end quote. Hinch displayed a lot of these kind of qualities when he was in charge of leading the Houston Astros, and there were a few reasons why this leadership style failed in this particular situation. One of the reasons was that Hinch was aware of the cheating, despite not condoning it. He knew that the sign stealing operation was happening, but he decided to take his hands off throughout it and let it happen, which wasn't too shocking considering his leadership style. Another reason that being was that he wasn't too involved in what went on with his team, and he let his followers make the decisions for the team in order to become successful and achieve their goal. Also, during the time, the Astros were pretty young and inexperienced, and they needed guidance in order to become better baseball players and become a better baseball team as well. But he failed to communicate and give them any regulating policy, as well as he withdrew from them and gave them little to no guidance. Last but not least, the laissez-faire is considered the least effective type of leadership style when it comes to productivity and performance. So according to Johnson and Hackman, this type of leadership style results in poor productivity, cohesiveness, and satisfaction, and result to Hinch's leadership style and him incorporating this type of style when he was leading the Houston Astros. It led him to fail leading his team successfully and efficiently. And not only did it ruin AJ Hinch's career and image, but it also ruined the Houston Astros image along the way as well.
Hello, my name is Riley Dobbins. Now that we have discussed how and why this leadership failure failed, we can now provide some suggestions that would have made it a success. After evaluating AJ Hinch's leadership failure, we have a few recommendations that would turn this failure into a success. The first recommendation for AJ Hinch is to take an authoritative leadership approach. Tom Verducci conducts an interview with AJ Hinch after the Astros were deemed guilty for cheating during the World Series championship game. In the interview, Hinch says, "But I have to own it because I was in a leadership position, and the commissioner's office made it very, very clear that the GM and the manager were in a position to make sure nothing like this happened, and we fell short." Verducci 2020. As Hinch mentions, he was the leader of the team and knew what was happening. An authoritative approach is when the leader has full power and maintains control over the followers. AJ Hinch should have put an end to the cheating as soon as he knew about it and regulated policy over his team. By doing so, he maintains control and takes initiative as the leader to play the game fairly. Another recommendation we have for AJ Hinch is to take an ethical perspective, specifically a categorical imperative. This means to do the right thing no matter the consequences and without exception. In this circumstance, the consequence could have been losing the World Series game. However, by not taking an ethical perspective, AJ Hinch and the Astros ruined both the reputation of themselves and the organization. An ethical perspective would have changed this failure into a success because although they may have lost, it would have been an even playing field for both teams. Olivia will now discuss the significance of this leadership failure.
Hi, my name is Olivia Leone, and I'll be discussing why this leadership failure is significant to our class. AJ Hinch failed as a leader as he allowed for his team to go against Major League Baseball rules and cheat their way to winning the World Series. As a leader, his job was to make wise decisions and to do what is best for the team, and that is where AJ Hinch failed. This failure highlighted some of the consequences of failing as a leader, which include damaging the reputation of himself, damaging the reputation of his team, as well as damaging the reputation of the organization. And on top of that, he lost his job. In class this semester, we learned about laissez-faire leadership, which according to our textbook is roughly translated in French as "leave them alone." And AJ Hinch exhibited a form of laissez-faire leadership by not intervening as a manager when he knew his team was cheating and by withdrawing from them. And he failed to offer guidance in the right direction to lead his team to success in a proper and legal way. Laissez-faire leadership is supposed to give equal power to the team and to the leader, but in many cases, the leader will give little guidance to their team and let them do what they feel they need to do. And in this case, AJ Hinch's lack of good judgment and poor use of laissez-faire leadership contributed to his failure as a leader. Thank you.